here, and I promised you Philip wouldn't let anything bad happen to me.
She's awesome.
Are we ready?
He's a lucky fella.
All right, bloodsucker.
Whoa, hey. Come on now, I don't reference your state, your current state of being.
That's what she called you when you didn't get all offended.
She is a fair maiden. We treat each other with respect. We all treat each other with respect.
I don't think I've ever been called a fair maiden before, but I like it.
We got bloodsuckers, we got zombies,
what?
we got
everything.
Come on, this witch isn't gonna kill herself.
Briggsy, what did I tell you about having hope? This will be fixed. We will come out to the other side of this better people. All right?
Look, I certainly hope so, but optimism's a little hard right now based on what we fucking witnessed.
All right, goodbye. I'll see you later.
Goodbye. It was lovely meeting you.
And you can continue to have this conversation while you travel.
argue for like an hour. I'll say, I'm real sorry. I'm real sorry about what Virgil was saying while you were saying your prayers.
What? I did not hear anything.
Oh gosh, I'm glad for that.
And you make your way towards Cyril. There will be moments for you to finish that. You make your way towards Cyril. And as you walk from what was the Crooked House, it is now to eventually be your home in the land of Druskenwald. You see as Adela holds on to one of the posts on the porch, she leans over and waves at you voraciously as you all begin to walk down the path. And as you look back slowly, the mist begins to roll in. Just the normal standard mist of the moors and of this place. As the
like
house, yes, like a foggy mist, not like the horrible Yorga mist.
Okay.
As it rolls in and obscures your view of the house, and all you're left with is the winding dirt and rocky road that leads deeper and deeper, cutting through the forest. That you know from looking at your map and the directions that Adela gave you that this will lead you to Cyril. And you travel. It is now about mid-dusk. A little after mid-dusk.
I'm going to be honest, Jericho. I'm not going to ask you what I said. It doesn't matter. I've had people say horrific things to me about my faith, other people's faith. Briggsy even himself has said some pretty egregious things. But
I said no offense before I said
well,
true.
And again,
that makes it okay.
None taken, and I want to be clear that just because I feel the need that I have to pray, it does not mean that anyone needs to partake. You don't have to partake. You don't even have to remove your hat.
No,
it is simply an option.
Oh, this is simply polite to remove your hat.
Every time there's a prayer, I'll take your fucking hat off. That's what I'll do. That's my way to pay my respects.
Briggsy, I appreciate you, and I believe that the more time we spend together, the tenets will stick to you.
All right, we'll see. We'll see.
Virgil don't much care for the gods or the goddesses, if you accept my apology in advance.
There's no need to apologize.
You could use a little bit of faith yourself, Virgil. You do not want to hear this.
Can I see the pocket watch?
Yes, of course.
I'm not talking about it. That's why because.
Yes, of course.
You don't have to roll. Baby.
I'll look around, and I want to. So Jericho or I would like to basically be getting inspiration for music or for stories, and I look around. Is this kind of like there was like farmlands and like what?
So right now, what you're walking through is simply just trees on either side of you, and a road that winds through it. I'll say at this point, you've probably been walking for about an hour or so. You've noticed that there have been
time to make it,
trails and signposts that lead towards what you would imagine are provincial towns. You've even seen flickering of lights off in the trees and the occasional movement as if there are people about further out.
What are they?
None of them paying you any mind.
Because
so far.
I painted her.
But I wouldn't say that you've seen any of these towns yet. But you imagine they're out there dotting the forest.
Well, kind of, because the wallets are Pokemon. Yeah, they're Pokemon tins.
Not that horrible spooky biz that we first encountered in the trees when we first got here. But I guess we should keep an eye to the woods.
Sorry, this has been a much easier journey than I was expecting.
Well, we will be careful. We will keep our wits about us. You will continue to help light our way, and we will be all right.
We got some pumpkins, some dancing pumpkins.
I do hope you know, Briggsy,
Okay.
I do not hate anyone else for anyone else's religion. I accept everyone. It's one of the tenets is that it's at the end of the day we're here to help.
Well, and that's fine. And I hope that you exhibit that when we meet people that really don't like your god, and they really like theirs. So I just think let's keep an open mind with these people that we meet.
Briggs, you have my word.
We're not the most regular bunch. So let's get in, we'll meet this archbishop, kill a witch, and then we can go to the masquerade.
Well, to your point, I would think that people are going to hate us much more for these, or this, and I peel some of the flesh off, than whatever gods we may worship.
I think you're right, and that's why we gotta be amenable, we gotta be friendly, nice, let's use some charisma, eh? Huh?
Oh,
I went to Jericho.
Oh yeah, no, I'm programmed to be very charismatic.
That's exactly right.
and to enjoy folk of any variety. I don't have an ounce of ill will, except when Virgil takes over. Then there's nothing but that. But old Jericho sticks. I got nothing but a smile and a tune for everyone I meet.
And if we offer to always aid and avoid negativity, number 2s and 7s, then we'll be fine.
Maybe these are some of the mantras you can use, Yorgrim.
That's exactly
How
right.
are you feeling? How's your teeth coming in there, fella? Big buddy?
I've been checking as we go to just make sure. Maybe saying
They
like, I'm
appear
not
to
a
have
beaver, I'm not a
stopped
beaver, I'm not a
growing,
beaver.
and they are the length that you would expect.
As far as you know.
They stopped coming out, but they are continuing to grow into your brain.
Well,
My mantras are set. I need to add nothing to them. I simply want to get into this town, figure out how to kill this witch, and then get to the business of killing this witch.
ooh, well, that's very very businesslike of you, of killing witches at the very least.
This has not been my first time. This will not be my first time going into a new place where a god is worshipped other than my own. I would ask yourself what you are willing to agree to, be it the customs or the rituals of this place. I will be putting any hang-ups that I may have aside, and I will certainly not be evangelizing like yourselves. Very new deity. I recommend that we go with the flow.
Well, I mean, I hope that I've represented myself appropriately in that I am prepared to do the same thing. I respect everyone and anyone. I certainly don't feel the need to evangelize. I have my rituals and I will do them in private.
I suspect that you will be keeping your word on that when we enter the city, and you can speak to us if you will. I certainly don't mean anything by that. I just want to impress upon all of you that when we get there, they may ask us to do things for Foltus or in the name of Foltus, and I intend to say yes.
That's fine for me. I can say anything.
No, absolutely.
Then we are in agreement. Thank you.
I'll do for the fucking tooth fairy. I don't care. Oh, sorry. Oh, too soon. Oh, no.
Well,
Unbelievable that you would say something
just
like
so
that.
I'm clear, and just so... Oh, Virgil, that is a very rude thing to say about a lovely goddess. God, she is a goddess, Virgil. Well, but so just so I'm clear, so we got, so I'm not offending anyone. We know that Briggsy and myself, we don't really, are men or gators of the cloth. We don't really worship. But Yorgrim and Farron, how about yourself? Are you prayerly types?
I wouldn't call it prayerly. I was from the circle of the Heart's Blight, and we served four folks.
Gorthus?
Aye.
That's neat. I've never heard of that. What is that? Is that a god?
Didn't even worry about it. He's what makes the world spin, in my opinion.
Okay, well, I'll do my best not to offend him.
I don't exactly know where you fit into the cycle of life, but for the rest of us, we'll return to the earth when he calls us and grow anew.
Not to pry, Farron, but if you believe that this entity is the reason the earth spins, that seems very godly to me.
That's what I was going to say. Sounds like a god to me.
Well,
So,
Gotta get a resin code
what
on
do you
this
think?
one.
What could be more natural than the cycle of life and death?
Well, I mean, just as sure as life and death are, the sun and the moon rise. Always, even here in this place, rise.
This time, you've passed a few of the provincial towns. You're able to see them just on the edges of the fields here as the tree line gets further and further away from the road before once again engulfing the road. And as you pass through a large outcropping of trees, you see coming up upon as you come up upon what looks to be a dilapidated farmhouse. A little bit of farmland off to the side, right on the outskirts of the woods. And you hear a sound, strange. I'm not going to make the sound for Elsa's sake. A wounded animal as it screams and whines as if in agonizing pain. Jericho, you notice first that what you see here is
It'll
a
probably
small,
be
dilapidated
tomorrow, hon.
house, which looks like it could be in use.
No,
just
she's
in
asking about
disrepair.
D&D.
The field outside with a broken scarecrow, one arm completely broken off as it watches vigilantly over what look to be rotting, ergot-ridden crops. And towards the back, a tool shed and a small stable. And the sound that you hear of this wounded animal seems to be coming from inside the stables.
This is off the path? Or
So the path is, the best way to think about it is the path is winding through as if it's been cut through the trees, but there are areas that have been more attended that push the tree line further and further back, where you see bits of small provincial towns dotting the area, where the tree line is maybe a mile out. What you've encountered as you pass through that is the trees coming back in, kind of overshadowing you, and then as you walk through them, there's another area where it looks like the trees have been removed and there's a small farm there.
and so there's
but
fields of crops.
There are fields of crops, and then in the very center of it is this very small, run-down farmhouse, a fields of crops with a scarecrow, and then behind that what appears to be a tool shed. And then on the other side, it's just open field and the road stretching out further ahead. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I'm sorry to suggest it, but if someone is in danger or someone is wounded, we must help. We have to investigate.
Well, that seems to be like it's not entirely abandoned. Scarecrow, seen better days. Me too. Let's go see if we can help that poor animal.
At the very least, we put it out of its misery.
Alright,
Hang
we
on.
have more.
None of you have ever been traversed a dark domain before.
That would be correct.
Well, now I have. If we were standing in one, I presume.
Semantics.
Oh. What are you trying to say, Yorgrim?
There are many things in the woods that will try and trick you. You said to stay on the path. We're here to kill witches, not to investigate sheds.
You think that this horrific animal baying is some sort of trick?
So what Adela told you was to stay on the path or the very fringes of the tree line, to not go deep into the woods.
So we would think that this is this is on the path?
Based on what she said, was to stick to the path or the very fringes of the tree line.
So don't wander into the woods.
So don't wander into the woods, is essentially what she was saying. So I would say that if you felt compelled or you wanted to investigate something, you would feel that this would not be breaking her trust.
Your warning is also totally valid.
Right, it is. I just want to make sure that
We don't have
Mace
to.
knows Yorgrim can proceed as he chooses to.
We don't have to walk past it, but we should approach with great caution.
Understood.
I agree that it comes with risks, but Adela also told us about
Got all kinds of chaos
strange
going on
things
over here.
happening to the beasts, the beasts of burden of this land. I would like to learn more, and that it may aid us in our quest to kill these witches.
Agreed. I'm gonna go on record right now and say hashtag content warning, because I'm feeling this is gonna be so fuck fucked up shit.
I would like to look around and see what kind of crops there are. Have they been harvested? Are they growing? And I want to look around. I don't
you
know if
make
it's
your
a
way
scarecrow.
towards it. I would say it's
Maybe
about 200 feet or so from the path to even get towards the crops. And so as you make your way over, you are able to look into this small pen of crops and see that at some point it could have been something as simple as root vegetables, tubers of some kind. But now they are blackened and a strange white fuzz has appeared on the outside of the leaves. And the flesh of those that are protruding out is what appears to be a mushy brown.
Being of fungal biz myself, do I reckon?
Bless you, good gravy.
Oh. I'm at 50. Just kidding. With a Sharpie, huh? I have a little mustache. Brother, no. No. Imagine you put that on your teeth. Your teeth would be all yellow in your teeth. Glitch worm. It's called glitch worm. Bruh, that was so easy for it. How? The holy dog. The holy dog back. The holy dog is back. What?
Elika, is this trash? If it's trash, trash it.
Make sure that I don't die. Oh.
Recognize any of this?
Roll a fungal biz check.
Can I really?
Please roll a nature check.
Okay.
Fungal biz.
At advantage?
Yes! That's fair.
Fungal biz.
Ooh, says Virgil.
Yikes.
11.
At advantage!
Looking at it, you can't tell exactly what the fungal biz is. It's definitely some kind of ergot. It's some kind of rock that has come from the top. But any specific form or type, you're unaware. And I will say, even with that, you're able to see that this is unlike any you've ever encountered.
Okay. So not the good kind of fungal biz.
Right, and I will say, do you touch it?
Okay.
When you reach down to touch it, the darkened parts of the leaf begin to almost disintegrate in your hand. And as you wipe away some of the white fur-like, almost moldy portions, and you look down at it, it almost has the consistency and the look to bird shit.
Ew.
Specifically the white furry stuff?
Yeah. The
Like wet bird
mold
shit or
of-
that dry bird shit after it's been in
like
the
the
sun?
dry bird shit after it's been in the sun.
And does it taste like the dry bird
Are you going
shit?
to eat it?
No.
God.
Yes, it does taste like dry bird.
What the fuck, man?
Well, I'm gonna, as Farron does that, I'm gonna look around. The scarecrow's missing an arm. And I want to look on the
as
ground
you look
for
around,
it.
you see that the arm is clearly on the ground next to it.
I'll go and I'll grab it and I'll just kind of look up and at the scarecrow. And I'll say,
it is around late dusk at this point.
and I'll look and I'll say, need a hand? And I'll try to reach up and I'll try to reattach it.
I'd say it's fair. I won't need you to roll for it. It's fairly easy to attach it. It's just a quick leather loop into a buckle that attaches it back onto the scarecrow, and he watches it as it now rests itself at attention,
There you go.
looking over these
To
rocks.
tubers,
I've
eh?
drawn my sword and I'm looking around and I watch as Jericho does this and I look at him and say, two of a kind, eh? Is that one of your brethren?
Well, I mean, he's looking over tubers and I was mostly rye. Did an okay job.
And then one day you up and left.
Now it's faster.
Well, no, that was just when I was keeping eyes on things. The halflings that I was keeping eyes on, they preferred They grew a lot of rye. But now you got 2 arms.
The animal pierce the silence around you as once again it lets out a horrified yelp of pain and agony, far louder than you'd expect. Whatever is happening in that shed it sounds to be very painful.
Well, you quit hanging around and get back to work.
Come on, Derek.
Let us see if we can provide some relief here. And I start to make my way towards the barn.
As you begin to walk out of the patch of crops and past the house, you hear as the front door of the house catches in the wind and slowly creaks open before slamming back closed. And you continue to walk. Silence, almost pure silence. You listen and you don't even hear rustling in the tree line. The sounds of bird wings flapping or animals moving within the forest. It's an eerie silence, as if everything in the vicinity is waiting in bated breath for what's going to happen to whatever this animal is. As you slowly make your way into the stable behind the house, and you are immediately hit with the stench of fermentation.
What?
No, what's it called?
Yeast?
Animal poop.
Oh.
Guano.
Yeah, what he said.
Manure, thank you. The stench of manure. That was or fertilizer was the word I was thinking of, but manure is perfect. The stench of fertilizer, as this entire stable seems to be filled, and you notice that these empty lots are piled high towards the back with unknown quantities of animal feces. As you trudge through it, it sludges up against your boots, and you catch the constant smell of it as it's rotting in this place. And underlying all of that, the stench of blood, and the stench of something else, something almost sweet. As you make your way towards where you hear the sound, and now that you're in here, and the sounds of the wind outside are blocked out by the structure of this stable, you can hear the soft whimpering and crying pleas for help of what is very clearly an animal.
Is it possible to identify the species of this?
Roll a nature check.
Oh. Jesus.
Good luck.
Jesus Christ.
I love that guy. Skills.
No, it is.
You don't have to add my shit.
Yeah, but you rolled a natural 1, and I don't think that your nature.
2.
Well, in that case.
Oh.
No, you listen, and in here, and with the darkness pressing in almost oppressively around you, your nose assaulted with these smells, you listen, but it sounds like it could be any animal. As you slowly make your way towards the very back of the stable, and as you wrench open the door, huddled in the very corner is a dark mass writhing this way and that as it lets out loud wails of pain. As all of a sudden, whatever is torturing it seems to overcome it again. It lets out what this close almost sounds like human screams. What do you do?
Well, get out the stuff and make it.
Lethica, are you alright, Miss Lethica?
I would raise
Get her
I would
stuff
raise
back.
my shield with my sword drawn and approach the mass and see if I can get closer to it and get a better look.
Yeah, I'd move up, shoulder to shoulder.
I'm just behind the gentleman, making sure that all is well.
If you make your way closer, I want you to roll a nature check. And I will say, because the two of you are going up together, go ahead and roll it at advantage.
Thanks, nature.
You slowly make your way forward. Your body is heavy with the weight of your armor as you see deeper into what is very clearly some sort of gooey substance, gooey clear substance mixed in with the blood and the fecal matter of the stable. As you sink deeply into it, the smell at this point is near overwhelming, to the point where I actually need all of you to roll a Constitution saving throw.
Oh, gosh.
Oh god, I'm rolling like shit.
Oh my god, so am I.
Oh, I did okay.
I fail con.
Do you have any racial features against shit smell?
18.
It's a 13 is the
18.
I failed.
No, but you have advantage on death rolls.
Ooh.
19.
I also
Disease
fail.
and being poisoned, this really doesn't
But I feel like I
apply.
could.
18.
5.
Does anybody else fail?
I fail.
I fail.
You step forward, Marius. You're now nearly on top of this thing. As you begin to look over it and the stench of whatever is coming from it assails your nostrils, you are not able to resist the revulsion that you feel looking at this. This entity in the darkness is clearly a very large shape. Smaller than a horse, but significantly larger than a dog. Its fur is matted in blood and a strange green, goopy liquid as you begin to retch. The rest of you smell the scent of vomit, and you all begin to follow suit, those of you that failed, adding to the horrific scent in this place.
Oh no, devil!
I have to pull my mask aside and rush to the corner to do this. But
Fortunately or unfortunately for this being, it's all just blood.
Yes, it is. As you let loose a stream of the toothy gum blood that you had been gulping down just the night previously in the bowels of the former house, you begin letting loose torrents of stale, dark brown blood and bile onto the body of this entity. And it's in that moment that you are able to see as it lets out an agonized bleat that this appears to be a sheep in the throes of labor. And as it screams and cries in pain, as it wriggles in the muck and the fecal matter on the ground and now the bloody vomit, you begin to see the sac spill forth from its nether regions. Oh, this is gross. And with it, what should be the infant of a sheep. But its eyes are a strange lilac milky color. And there is no movement as it begins to spill head first out of the womb of this sheep. Its head and its neck covered in that thick, clear liquid. And now that you are so close, this is what was causing that almost sweet smell, the sweet smell of birth. But as it gets to the torso, where there should be sheep, there's nothing but wriggling, hanging intestines. The bottom part of this newborn baby sheep not formed, as you begin to see that there is some strange sickness about this creature. And there is no life in it. As the mother sheep screams and bleats yet again, pushing with all of her might to release this ill-formed infant from her womb, you hear with a loud squish as the top part of this newborn sheep lands in the muck and the blood, completely lifeless. The wiggling in its intestines slowly coming to a stop as the mother herself dies in trial.
Okay, well, there. I'm gonna do what I was gonna do.
And the shed around you is quiet.
Get yourself together, boy. No time for that.
Back up.
Work to be done.
There's no work here. It's dead. Let us leave.
Still return to the earth.
Fair.
You should take it outside.
Fine. But there's nothing done. There's nothing we need to be doing here.
I'll, not overly carefully, I'll kind of grab I don't know if I could drag it on my own, but grab the fetus in one hand and the leg of the sheep in the other. And
you'd find me right.
Yeah, I help you drag it.
I'd say it's easy enough to do that. They're still connected as the mother died in the very final throes of the birth. The partially formed infant sheep is still connected via an umbilical cord of sorts to the inside of this creature, and you're easily able to grab them and pull them. Roll an investigation check for me, please. Being in physical contact with them.
I'd start digging outside.
17.
You quickly make your way outside, and you find a patch of land that doesn't look to be too overcome with the ergot that seems to be eating away at the crops. And you do see that it is slowly reaching out and consuming the very grass that sprouts from the earth itself, but it hasn't reached this particular area outside of the stables as you begin to dig. And it doesn't take long for Farron, Lethica, and anyone who will help to drag these two animals towards the plot. Though it is slowly approaching evening, there's still enough light in the late dusk for you to get a good look. What did you say your roll was?
17.
A good look at this, at the sheep. The sheep itself seems to be in good enough condition, as it were. You can definitely tell that it was getting on in years and slightly emaciated, as if it hadn't had enough food. But aside from that, it was the sheer struggle of the birth itself that seemed to have taken the sheep's life. The infant, however, is something altogether unlike anything that you've ever seen. The entire bottom half is completely missing, not as if ripped from the entity, but as if never formed. And there are strange rashes and pocks upon the flesh that did form. As you hold it, you can feel what little furry down had formed on it is almost wiped away, as it's not able to hold purchase on the flesh of the dying animal. All the while, its eyes is strange, lilac-y purple.
I've never seen anything like this before.
Completely opaque.
By then do we ever say death, life? This is nothing but death.
I understand what it is now. A dark domain.
Is this, is the witches doing this? Or is this some kind of natural stuff?
It certainly doesn't seem natural to me.
There's deformities, of course, in any animal, people.
What's your passive perception, Farron?
It is 17.
Okay. As you begin to say this, you feel the intestines that are hanging from the infant sheep as they begin to writhe and undulate. And it looks almost as if they're wiggling in life, until you begin to see what appears to be two antennae as out of the exposed midriff of this thing, a centipede crawls out down your arms and legs and disappears almost in an instant into the earth.
Did you see that?
Did I?
Yes, all of you will. I would say for the purposes of horror, yes, you saw it.
Oh, fuck!
It was 2 centipedes?
Just one.
Just one.
I suppose that answers our question.
1 centipede.
Philip guessed, or perhaps knew, that there were other hags, and that I believe centipede was a representative of one, the same way that we experienced these beasts with the haunted house. Yes, Jericho.
I'll hand up, flip the blade around. I'll
And
point
you'll
to the
see that
centipede.
etched into the handle are the images of a pigeon, a centipede, and a weasel.
Absolutely the trademark of a hag.
You said there's no work to be done. Ugh.
Not with this creature. It's beyond help. We go to Cyril, we find our problem, we end it.
Well, let's let Miss Farron do what you suggested to do. The animals and goofy typed creatures are, I presume, are more of your thing.
Thank you for digging the hole and laying down now. Do I notice anything about the lamb that would have looked the same? I know the same fucking fruit fly. We've had a fruit fly torturing us in the studio.
It's more.
It's
they're
always
more
exactly where you're looking.
I know, it's always right
It's literally
here.
just sitting there with it thinks that it's fine. Did you get it?
There's one right here. There's one on the
See,
stand,
what the
yeah.
fuck?
Man!
They're just
It's
chilling.
like taunting
Fruit
us.
flies.
Anywho.
Yeah, so on the lamb, does anything remind me of the crops, like the whitishness of the eyes, like
Good
matching
question.
the white of the...
So the eyes are actually like a pale lilac.
Oh, lilac.
And they're opaque, very similar in color to these cards.
Oh, beautiful.
I knew it!
God, there's the cards all over.
But I would say it seems to be different, but it could potentially be connected.
was the color of the flame in the kitchen when Vesla, I presume it was Vesla, was cackling. Was that a similar color to the purple
Yes.
here?
Boom. Bada bing, bada boom.
Knowing,
Mikey gets a gold star.
having encountered a hag at this point once, would it be reasonable to think that, like, the sphere of influence before was just in the home we were in? Would we think that she's in our immediate vicinity? Or would it be reasonable to think it's like...
Roll an Arcana check.
Yeah, like, did we get... We had just, like, bad feelings when we walked into the house. Did we,
Dumb as a
like,
bag of rocks.
I'd say you get a very similar
sense of
sickness and heebie-jeebies. Okay. What did you roll?
It's a 4.
No, I mean your familiarity with hags is not great.
Adela told us that the
Good up
people of
there.
Cyril were dealing with these issues.
Yes. She mentioned to you that there were essentially a list of things that the Archbishop was concerned with, and he believed that they could all be tied back in some way to Mother Night.
And it was the whole province, right?
Right.
It wasn't just Cyril. Like, Cyril may have had it, like, bad
Yes.
or worse.
No, so it was the entire province of Folsom that
Right.
is dealing
Yeah.
with whatever is happening. But it is so strong and it is so dark that he believes that it couldn't just be the work of one witch, it had to be the work of the witch.
Got it.
Yeah.
And so I will say you are able to place these the bodies of these sheep into the hole and return them to the earth.
and as I do that, I would just kind of take one of my long nails and just kind of do a light scratch on each of the bodies and just kind of whisper to myself and to Porthos to return them, let them walk again in new life.
I think that is the best we can do to give these creatures something.
Death has its purpose, but suffering does not.
Should we investigate this house, or should we move on? I do
I'd
not
like
think.
to know what's causing this.
I
The
don't
rocks
think
have
we
got
know
something
what's
wrong with
causing
them.
this. Sorry, I think we know what's causing this. Eggs. Eggs.
If we knew how they were affecting land, I surmise that the reason for this creature's suffering was because there was something that in the food that it ate, the feed would have come from this same affected plant.
Something definitely wrong with it. I'm not sure. The people are being affected. The children getting sick.
Maybe they're just so
Sounds
full of centipedes.
You know, I know that you sometimes say things and you just, you try to help and you just say whatever's on your mind, but I actually don't think you're incorrect this time.
No, I'm dead fucking serious. I'm not cracking wise. I mean, those sheep, they were full of centipedes.
It's just the one. One's enough.
I guess. I wouldn't care to go into that house after the last house we ventured in with vermin. I'd rather keep walking, but that's. I'll go where the group would like to go.
When I looked at the plant before, like, was I looking at something like leafy or?
So you were looking at the leafy bits that were coming off of and sprouting out of the ground, and most of it fell away, but there was like a thick, almost mold-like covering, and that's what you touched.
Okay, I was curious if there was anything like fruit of a plant, like whether that's like a corn husk or like a gourd or.
There were bits of tuber-like
tubers.
vegetables, and they were brown and mushy with rot.
Brown and mushy with rot. Okay. That's right.
I'm with Jericho. I think that the chances that what we're looking for happens to be in this house right here is slim to none. I'd prefer to talk to the Archbishop first and gather some information. We could certainly check it out and move forward, but I can't imagine what would come from it.
Should we burn this crop? You think that this could be causing a part of the problem. Should we just leave it?
My sense is that if this is a big problem, there's probably a lot more where this comes from. So burning this field, we're gonna spend the next couple of years burning a whole fucking province down.
I think Briggs is right.
I don't know that it'll do us any good if it releases whatever this is into the air. Spreads over the land.
And at the end of the day, remember what they said. This head of the snake. This is a symptom. It's not the cause.
I think we should go.
I agree.
And with that,
I agree also. Yeah, but I also look at the house and think the fact that no one came out hearing such sound tells me that we don't need to go inside.
I think
We
you're
move
right,
on.
Miss Lethica.
you make your way back to the road and continue on your path. You make conversation and you try to shrug off the sense of dread and gloom that's now infused you. The overall jubilance of Philip and Adela slowly fading from your memory, reminding you now the kind of land that you're in and the stakes that have been placed before you. And it's hard to remember what it felt like to laugh and to joke and to smile as you walk in quiet for a bit, occasionally making conversation, but heavy in thought. As time passes, hour after hour after hour, evening firmly in place as the midnight hour approaches, the nighttime hours, the darkness of the land. You see the flickering of torches off in the tree line of what you know to be provincial towns. Occasionally you hear the sounds of people speaking in the trees, but nobody stops you, nobody bothers you. So finally you see flickering lights in the very inside of the tree line. One torch after another, after another, after another. And you watch, and you wait, and then you see what appears to be a line of around 20 to maybe 30 people, all dressed in pure white robes, each of them carrying a torch, darting in and out of the tree line, singing a soft and mournful song. You're able to catch a couple of words, but it seems to be their chanting, "Oh blinding light," over and over again, and then a mix of other words and another language, similar to Latin, but not necessarily Latin, as they chant and chant and chant. And then as they come closer, not towards you, but walking along the tree line, you watch as they begin to wind down along a path and head deeper into just the very beginning recesses of the forest. You begin to hear the sounds of a woman crying, a soft and mournful, wretched crying, of pain, of heartbreak. You're close enough now that all of you can easily see that she stands beside a man whose arms are wrapped around her as he tries to give her comfort. And just to their side is another man, all of them garbed in white robes, all of them singing, as he carries what appears to be the form of a small child. As they begin to march in unison, singing, drowning out the cries and the whimpers of the woman and the pleading begging of the man as they walk deeper into the forest. What do you do?
Is the child making any sounds?
The child appears to be limp in the man's arms.
How far away are they from us?
I would say they're about 100 feet from you, close enough for you to still see. But they look, so you're almost walking parallel with them.
Okay.
And as they get towards you, they're walking directly into the woods. And I would say with the illumination of their torchlight, it looks like they're walking down towards some kind of a river.
Does anyone look like they're in charge or in the lead?
There is someone in the lead. They're walking in almost a line, and towards the very end is what appears to be a woman, a man, and then another man holding a child. And the woman and the man are in obvious distress. standing next to the man holding the form of the child. There are a few people behind them. Everyone but those 3 people and the child are holding torches, and they're all singing this mournful song.
Does it appear to be something religious?
It does. I would say it's easy enough. You don't have to roll for it. I will have you roll a religion check to see if that rings any bells to you. The song "O Blinding Light."
Ah. Okay. So, LMNOPQR. Okay. Ha! I roll like shit. I got a 6.
I would roll higher than a 5.
You listen to the song, and there's something about it that seems familiar, but you can't quite place it.
Hours.
It's like a funeral.
Do you think we should ask if they need help?
I don't know if they're all human.
From what you can tell, they're all robed in white. Most of them have hoods up over their head, and they are almost kneeling in prayer over the candles that they hold as they walk and sing. And they all seem to be overcome with a sense of sadness.
I want to respect Lethicus' concerns and not be evangelical, but I also want to help these people.
Maybe is it improper if we just stick to the bushes and just take a look at what's going on?
It could be. I don't know.
I don't think we have to hide ourselves. If we go to them and they ask us to participate, I would say yes, that's all.
I agree. I concur.
I don't think they're gonna want us then. I know those whales. He's lost.
They're not gonna want if there's a poor little one that's lost and it's in their way to the little sheep. They're not gonna want us to be around them.
I agree.
Especially not Virgil.
Maybe we just let them be.
Do you think that Philip and Adela truly grasp the gravity of the suffering that is happening in their lands? I understand that they brought us here to deal with this problem, but they do not act.
I don't want to be ungrateful, but I see where you're coming from. It's almost as if they sent us into that home without fully divulging all of the information they knew. I mean, we were a little over our heads in what we were presented with. I think they knew more than they wanted to let on.
I agree with that very much. And they knew what to dangle in front of all of us in order to commit us to this quest.
I want to go on record and say that I'm not entirely sure I believe everything they're saying. I find it hard to believe that a cup that I've been searching for nearly a century just happens to be in this man's hands. I'm trying to remain hopeful and avoid negativity, but what are the chances?
You don't have to convince me.
If he has the item that he says that he has for me, a single ring could probably solve all of their problems now. I do not understand why they do not use so much power to undo it and instead lean on folks such as ourselves.
It's a very wise point.
Well, it doesn't seem like this place really operates how the world we come from works. Isn't that right, Yorgrim? Isn't these dark domains? It feels like we're in a fairy tale land.
The rules are different here, and from what we've already seen, the Druskenwalds don't lack for power. So if they could use them, probably would easily. My presumption is that my guess is that they just can't make use of them. They're meant for us. No doubt that they have them, but I think nothing is quite as it seems with those two.
It is a fine hypothesis. On the other hand, I wonder if they just don't want to get their hands dirty, risk themselves in this attempt.
I think they mean well and they're good folk. They've shown us quite a kindness, and if you don't mind me saying, I think that we could either take a look at what's going on, we get more information as we make our way to Cyril, or we move on.
Well, I'm not opposed to gathering more info, but I feel wrong doing it discreetly. That's just how I feel.
If we go to them, then we must go open arms.
I mean, I disagree. If we want to learn something from them, we don't have to come through the trees. We just hang back and watch. Don't any rustle any feathers. There's no reason to.
Hey.
Question for the dungeon master.
Yes.
Hey,
Do we
sweetie.
get the sense, will
Can
we
you
be able
give
to
me a
just kind of
napkin?
like walk
Yeah, I need a
by and
napkin.
just take a look? Or will we need to like
You guess that under cover of darkness, you have to remember, they're carrying, it is dark right now, they're carrying candles. So it's illuminated where they are. Where you are, unless they have some extraordinary vision, they wouldn't even be able to tell you were there. So it would be easy to make your way towards the tree line, just right into the tree line itself, and look down upon whatever it is that they're doing. That would be very easy to do.
Well, I don't think we need to sneak around like creatures in the underbrush. Let's just walk on by, see if there's anything we can do to help, and if not, we don't cause them any stress by our unique appearance.
Thank you, Jericho. I think that's very wise.
Well, I'll lead the way. No, pumpkins, get out of here. I'll try to like, if I've had my dancing lights
I
out, I'll get
imagine
rid
you
of that.
have.
Okay, good. So then we'll just go and try to not sneak, but just walk by and see what we can see.
They seem, I'm not even going to make your roll stealth check because they are consumed in what they're doing. They're not looking for you or paying attention to you. You make your way towards the tree line as you watch as they walk along a small path down to the river. As you stand there overlooking what they're doing, they all submerge themselves waist deep, one after another, into the water as they sing "O Blinding Light" in a mournful tune. Quietly, and as the tail end of the procession passes you, you can hear the racked sobs of the woman and a soft, low crying of the man next to her. As finally, the three of them are emerged waist deep. The man in front of them lets out a loud call in a language that none of you seem to understand, as he raises the form of the child high up in the air as he looks towards the moon and begins to say a prayer. Every single one of the people in procession dips their candle into the water, extinguishing the light, as they all look up toward the moon. And it is easy to see, for anyone familiar with religion, that around their necks are the silver symbol of the god Foltes, as they all begin to pray in unison. It feels like minutes, hours pass, but it's a short amount of time before finally they unwrap the form of the child, and you see that his head is tilted backwards, his eyes open. A pure opaque purple light. You see the rise and fall of the stomach. You hear the soft, shallow breathing as his body convulses and jerks, overcome with some strange sickness. You can see bits of hair that have fallen away with some illness that you're unfamiliar with as they slowly lower his body down into the water. And you hear as they chant, cleansing the body, attempting to wash away the illness as the mother and the father cry. They hold him under for what feels like too long as the body goes still. They raise him out, but you can still see his small chest rising and falling with shallow breaths. The woman reaches out and places a kiss on his forehead, and you hear her call out, "Eric, please wake up for Mommy. Please, Eric, please." But nothing. No sounds, just the shallow breathing and the rising and falling of his chest. As she drops to her knees in the water, she covers her face with her hands and she sobs so loudly that everyone sucks in air with bated breath and they watch. As he continues to breathe and shake and convulse, but he does not heal. Their prayer was not answered this night. as she calls out in utter agony, begging for Fultus to heal her son, screaming into the darkness for someone, anyone, to save her family. As you hear the voice of the man that's holding him. It has not worked. He will try again. We will not stop until he's healed. She reaches up and grabs his hand. Please, please save him. We return to Cyril. Do not speak of this. Let us continue to sing. As they wrap up the cold, convulsing form of the now wet child back into his blanket, and the possession again forms a line as they all rise out of the water. The stillness and the quiet of the night, pierced by the racking sobs of the mother whose son is sick and cannot be cured, as once again the song of "O Blinding Light" pierces the night and drowns out the sobs.
As they're, I guess, at the point when it would have been loudest.
I would say you're
Could
far
I
enough away
recognize-
that you could easily speak, so you can
I'm
talk
not
without
trying to-
fear of anything.
Oh, I'm just trying to recognize the song.
I would say roll a religion check.
Hi.
13.
It is, you recognize it as being a song, a common song that is sung to Fultus, pleading for guidance or healing or help. And so it is clear that they're doing some sort of healing procession in an attempt to cure this infant. I would say it's also easy to tell that the words that they're speaking are some form of their religious language. And you, I imagine with that role, would know bits and pieces of it, and you can tell that this is very dire, that they're only doing this sort of ritual, this sort of procession as a last-ditch effort to save the life of this child.
There is much good we can do here. If we can cut the head off, so to speak, we can end this kind of suffering.
I think you're right. This is far worse than I had feared. This Mother Midnight is worse than a lot of things that I've seen, and I've seen a lot of real bad stuff.
The wailing and the chanting slowly fades into silence as the procession of people, Fultons, makes their way, weaving in and out of the tree line, heading in the direction that you're going, towards Cyril.
Are we ahead of them now? So we're kind of walking past as that happens.
They're ahead of you, but they're sticking to the tree line, which winds in different directions. So you don't know if it's a shortcut, or they're taking the long way, or they plan to stop somewhere overnight. But for whatever reason, this is the place that they wanted to be when they did this ritual. You know your path is along the road.
Let us continue on the path. It is not far away from the witching hour.
And that's true, it is not.
I think that we don't want to cause these folk any more stress or sorrow or fear. If only I looked more normal, perhaps a tune might do them good. But
There's more time for that.
sure,
We should get to see.
keep walking.
You make your way back to the path, and as the shroud of darkness, as night descends, you make your way in an even more sorrowful silence. But there is, for some of you, still that glint of hope. That child was not dead. If you stop the witch, maybe you could stop the affliction that is overcoming that child. And are there more like him? Are there more like poor Eric that are out there suffering, and families that are praying to Fultus, hoping to bring their child back from the brink of death? And you could be the salvation that they need. You could be the people to bring peace to this land, to heal these crops, to heal the animals, to heal the sick. If you would only make it to Cyril.
I would pull out my banjo if I feel like we're far enough away where it wouldn't be an earshot, and I would pluck a few strings and a tune, and I'd say, You know, that reminds me of a tune that they used to sing. The halflings. Some of the halflings would sing it, and a little something. Oh, sisters, let's go down. Let's go down. Come on down. Oh, sisters, let's go down. Down to the river to pray. I don't think it was Foltis. It was, I think, Eldath or some other god. Maybe Shantia.
It's a nice song he got away.
I felt that that should motivate us to figure this shit out. Something like that I maybe just put together is. Did you in character mention the pink light or the purple light?
I would have mentioned that,
Yeah.
I think.
Does it also look similar to the
Well,
runic?
it's purple light, but it's like a pinky purple light, yeah.
Was it similar to the color of the
This
big
color.
rune on the ground?
Yes.
Under the massive thing.
Yes.
So we gotta keep an eye out for that color. All right. If we're putting things together, that lavender color, this one right here. And I hold up a
note card.
lavender note card with Druskinvold timing written on it.
Fuck off.
I'll say, if we see this color at all, even if it could be totally unrelated, we gotta keep an eye on it and take a look. All right.
Yeah, of course. Absolutely.
Agreed.
I take the lavender card and put it into my bag of holding.
If we were able to get a sense, I would want to see, are they all entirely human? 'Cause-
I would say it would be easy to see that they are all entirely human.
and the whole Lockwood family and Philip and Adela so far.
Everyone that you've met so far has been human.
Except for, I guess, the coachmen and the frog and the vagrant so far.
Yeah.
And the hag. And the weasel.
Yeah, so
and the
except
other
for all of those
weasels,
things that aren't human, everything's been human.
That
Yeah.
we've murdered,
Accurate.
destroyed.
A couple of
and hurt.
statues, a beaver.
Well,
But Filthy Jasper, he was half human.
He was part human.
He was human-esque.
Half, I don't know if that's generous.
And so with that, you continue to walk, listening to the songs that Jericho sings, soft, mournful tunes,
let's go down.
as the
Come on
hour
down.
turns towards the witching hour. And slowly, interspersed in the tree line, you begin to see the lights of Cyril up ahead. Still far off, you still have, I would say, about an hour's travel to get there. But you can see the faint lights of what looks to be a large city, far larger than anything that you've seen since you got here. And then you begin to see, just off to the side of the road, a large hunched figure, rocking this way and that. And a deep guttural noise. What do you do?
Does the noise sound bestial or
It
human?
does. It sounds very bestial.
Be aware this could be some creature.
It is sitting, or not sitting, but hunched, appears to be hunched, right along the edge of the road. You would be walking directly past it.
How far away is it?
I would say it's about 100 feet, since that
Aye.
seems to be what I like to use as a marker for this session.
It's a good
It's a good far distance.
108 feet away.
I would have drawn my sword and shield and raised it up and said, "Who goes there?" Very loudly, enough for them to hear us.
You hear a cracking of bone and a deep, almost guttural swallow. Is in the darkness you hear.
We don't mean you harm. We're traveling to Cyril. Please, show yourself.
And you,
4 toes on my hand.
What?
Jericho, maybe light him up.
Just light.
Yeah.
Virgil, no!
Is that not what I said?
And I would like to wave my hand, and I'll say, My friend Sir Mary's here. He's a good knight, and he just wants to help you. And I use bardic inspiration as I cast dancing dancing lights.
want to eat some bread.
And the 4 glowing pumpkins.
It's gonna be fine. It's gonna be totally fine.
That'll come from the same one. So I'd like to have my dancing jack-o'-lanterns is it 60 feet or 30 feet?
I'm gonna write what I think it is now.
Oh, 120. Holy shit.
Don't eat the stones. Don't eat the stones.
So I'd
they
like
go down very hard.
I'd like to illuminate him as I inspire Marius.
And you do this, and you see that there appears to be this strange woolen blanket over this large mass. And as you illuminate it, it shrugs it off of its shoulders, and you see what looks to be a very thin and almost emaciated old man sitting cross-legged on the road, and in its lap, it's covered in blood all over its face, looks to be the body of a rotting and decaying corpse of one of these strange sheep. At first, it looks to be like sheep-like forms, but it appears to be a malformed goat, as it is ripping chunks off of this thing. You can see where the pox and the lesions have affected its skin, and where parts of it have not fully formed from its birth. Its strange lilac purple eyes dead in the skull of this entity as this man shovels the flesh down its throat. As he turns and he looks up towards you,
Do you want to eat it with me?
and the words that come out of his mouth do not look like they should be made by his vocal cords. Almost as if it's not his voice, a strange madness having overcome him. And you see, just faintly, this strange lilac bits to his eyes.
I would sheath my sword and run to the side of this poor wretched creature. And
I've been eating this for an hour.
so you must.
Would you like to have the turkey at Christmas time?
And he
No.
stands up and he frailly bows to you.
Sir,
Have a leg of lamb.
You will like it. It will make you full.
And he starts to dance on spindly legs, and you see long yellowish claws as he dances in a circle around this thing.
sir,
Have a feast. Have a feast.
please just take a
He
minute.
sits down really quickly as dust spurts up around him. He jumps back up onto his spindly legs. Rend your flesh, bleed! And he cuts himself, and then he starts eating again.
Stop! I think you're very confused. This isn't. Please, just for a moment. And I would like to try to very cautiously and gently place a hand on his shoulder. And
You do, and he immediately grabs it. You can feel the long, yellowed tendrils of his fingernails as he looks up at you.
Hungry.
It's all right. I understand how that feels. I'm here to help, and I will attempt to use lay on hands, and use 5 HP to try to cure a disease affecting the creature. I want to try it.
Okay. I will say that I wasn't expecting that. You watch as a little bit of the grayish blue color of his eyes begins to appear through the purple.
Ooh.
And he shakes his head and he looks at you and he looks down at himself and he begins to retch as he smells the scent of this decaying corpse he's been holding in his hands. And he looks up towards you and he grabs your face.
The voices. Quieting.
I know. It's all right. Let it out.
While he's
And he
distracted,
starts
I'm gonna take
retching.
the
You can
corpse and
feel the
toss it.
bones in his back.
Let it out. It's all right.
You see as he continues to puke, it assails your nostrils at first, the scent of blood, his own blood. This frail form of this old man as he continues to vomit at your feet.
I would just stay with him and try to help him, and if it ceases, I would try to help him to his feet and see if he is someone who lives in Cyril. If it ceases, he might.
After a while, it does seem to cease. You hear his labored breathing as he stares down. Occasionally, like, he looks up and towards the tree line as if he's hearing something or seeing something that you don't see or hear.
Can we take you home? Do you live in Cyril? We're on our way there. We can make sure you're all right.
Yes,
Do I live in Cyril? What is Cyril? I don't know Cyril. Yes, I know Cyril.
It wants to come for it.
No, not again. And he begins to grab his head and start rocking back and forth as you see the bits of purple light once again returning to his eyes, and then it shakes off again. Whatever coming to him, he's able to push away with you standing near him.
I am so sorry. You are very sick, and we will do everything we can to help you. I look to Lethica. I don't know how else I can help.
What is your name? What is the last thing that you remember?
What's in a name? What's in a name?
What is doing this to me? Help me! And he reaches out for you. You can see the blue of his veins. It's his skin so thin over his bones, he's near transparent as he reaches out to you. Make them stop!
When he cut himself on his arm.
Oh yeah, he's bleeding profusely from his arm.
So it is bleeding. It's
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Lethica, I think that at the very least we should try to get him to Cyril. Look, if things are even worse there, it may not help, but we can't leave him here on the side of the road.
I agree.
No, we can't. No, we can't.
And he throws his head back, and with his nails, you watch as he slices through his throat. And his blood begins to spill down along his chest. He looks towards you.
No!
And he attempts to speak, but all you hear is the gurgling of blood as it erupts out of his throat. His eyes roll back, and there's nothing but a pure lilac light shining within. And as you hold him, you begin to see the wiggling and the movement as a centipede crawls up out of his throat and begins to skitter down his chest.
I just try and grab for it if I can.
Roll a dexterity contest, I guess.
Oh.
Just be advised, it has 100. You only have 2.
Just straight dex would be 13.
You attempt to grab onto it, and you catch it for a second. I'm going to have you take
Madness
definitely.
damage.
You're going to take 6 points of piercing damage as it wiggles around in your palm, and you feel its sharp needle-like legs dig into your palm as it begins to it feels like almost sucking out blood, but it's more pumping some kind of venomous poison into you. As you quickly let it go, it flops to the ground, flips over once or twice, and digs into the deep earth. As Marius, you hold onto the body of this thing, its head thrown backwards, the severed neck nearly
Welcome back.
nearly
Sorry.
rended all the way through, and almost supernatural
really
force.
into my painting.
I would,
Really deep.
as he had ripped open his own throat, I would, you would see the muscles in my neck tense, and I would very gently lay him down, and as soon as he is resting on the ground, my left hand would go to my mouth, and I would quickly back away from him.
In this D&D session, it is intense.
Take some space.
These people are very sick.
Is the old man gone?
I would say he's dead. His body is still there on the ground.
I'm just painting
continue
something
to
I have
scare
needed
into
to
the
paint.
You look
So,
down, he flips over onto his back, and out of his
This
spine, legs protrude, and he
was
skitters
given
backwards
to
into
us.
the night. I quit.
Oh yeah?
By my husband's
Marius
brother.
No, that does not happen. No, that
My
does not.
brother-in-law, and
After laying
I
him
painted
down, I would
mine,
continue to take several steps back away
which
from
was,
the blood and the rended flesh,
So
and
basically-
cover my mouth.
Let me pause it. Basically, he gave us one that is the sword and shield, and then he gave us another, which was bow and arrow. And I always play a ranger, and my husband, or a hunter, and my husband always plays a barbarian or someone with a sword and shield. And so I decided to paint them in our colors. So I'm bouncing between that and painting my husband's mirror that I've been needing to paint for our walls. Oh. Well, I mean, you know, you can do just about anything. Really. It's just up to you. I bounce around a lot. I'm a little bit chaotic. One day I'll paint, one day
Would,
I'll...
would that have, like, if I had seen that,
Do
would I
D&D.
have get any, like, recollection
Thank
of
you,
what
sweetie.
Petunia did to me?
I would say no, but I will say you
But I
don't
mean,
even need to
it's-
roll for it. You remember
the
that
screen
Adela
is
told you
yours.
that
You can
there
do
were adults
whatever
going
you
mad,
want. You can just sit there and
overcome with
chat
strange madness.
with people.
He did not seem to be himself or alone. It was as if a separate entity was inside him.
I would say you'd get the sense that there were many entities inside him.
I would like to look at Marius to see if his eyes are a little bit red. And
Are your eyes a little bit red?
a little bit more red than
It's
they normally
very
are.
clear that Marius is struggling
Mirror
against
is
the
bright enough that I can start
smell of the blood.
working.
I would kind of step like in between Marius and the body and say, "Sir Marius, do you want to take a bit of a walk there?"
It's when you say this that I catch myself and no, I'm fine, Jared. Thank you. I'm all right. And I take another step back. I'm all right. Thank you for asking.
Lying at your feet is now the crumpled body.
What does that sound? Is the
old
cat
man.
playing with a...
And
Oh, that's
the
you. I thought the cat was
Semi-consumed
playing with
body
the
of
plastic
this
bag again.
rotting, sickly corpse of what appears to be a goat.
As profane as it might sound,
No, this is actually a design that my husband wanted.
from these bodies.
I painted mine and I did a
Careful,
zombie Pegasus.
If
He
that
wants
goat
a
has a centipede in
skull that's kind of melting with fangs
There.
and fairy wings.
it, pretty bad news.
So I guess they're kind of reminders
Are you all right,
of
Mr. Yoga?
some of our
You
characters.
sound like you've been poisoned. Are you okay?
But,
you're
it's just
speaking
something
very
nice
slowly.
it's a project I really need to do so I can put it on the walls.
Yeah. 5 fingers? Is that what you had up?
Well, 2 of them were up. Yes, there were 5 fingers.
It's only a scratch. Fine.
Well, I will.
might do an early
I
stream
will keep guard. I will
tomorrow
secure
if I can wake up early enough.
let me know if you need me or
with
if
the
you find
kids,
anything of
and we
interest.
might
I have a
finally get
feeling
the-
like this guy's not the only
At
one.
the
Della told us that
Death
there were
House
people
done.
going mad. This is
I've
just,
gotten the go ahead
I don't
from my son to
who
stream it.
knows what's going on
Said
in
he'll
this
be
city.
okay with it as long as
It's
you know,
like
I
a
don't show his
like a
face.
full-size stage.
At this point,
A
now where
3D
you're at, you can see
headset.
through the tree line, and it is not much further ahead. What appears to be this, almost like a stone,
What is
stone
a 3D
walls that encircle
headset?
this huge city, and inside of it, what
Wait,
appear
you
to
mean-
be
you
large
mean like the
stone
Quest?
and stone like mortared
I've never
mortared
tried.
buildings, and cresting over the hill, I would
I've
see
never
in
tried. I
plain
do like the
view
VR.
at towards the very back
But
of the
I've
city at
just
the far
never
end
tried
is a
to,
beautiful,
stream on it
shining
yet.
in torchlight marble cathedral.
I mean, that's a big city. Who knows how fucking bad it is there, especially if it's infectious and spreads.
And we got the Five
Can't
Nights at
imagine.
Freddy's game, which I am
Fortunately, I am
terrified
wearing
to
a mask.
play on that.
Do we think that this man went...
You get disadvantage for that.
Hey, you got it!
Boom!
Wow, look at that!
Do we think that he went mad just from...
Oh, we stared.
Very, very fair enough here.
Huh? No, she smashed him.
Finished
wanna-
the job.
That was straight
Give me one of these. Do we think that the man went mad because he went into the forest, or just because he is also afflicted by whatever is cursing these lands?
There was no madness I've ever seen. I think it's these creatures crawling inside of them.
But I'm
Doing
asking,
something
how
to-
did they get there?
Well, Adela said that they had these problems with Cyril. So, I mean, clearly, unless they're all going out in the woods.
I saw that group though, and they were funny. Seems to be the children and elderly that we've seen so far.
And it is at this time you begin to see the flickering of lights as your attention is turned towards the tree line in front of you. The tree line that is just to the sides of Cyril proper. And what sounds like yelling and arguing.
While you guys are discussing all of this, my back would be towards you. I'm listening, but I'm intentionally trying to avoid sight of what we just witnessed, and I guess my ears would perk up to hearing this disturbance.
I think, yeah. Marius, what is that? And I'll turn to...
Yeah, I would try to listen closer, see if I can gather anything being a little bit farther away from the rest of the group.
You listen closely as you begin to hear the yells and the shouts as you realize it's not just in front of you. It's on all sides of you as near 50 people surround you carrying torches. You hear the muttering and the yelling.
Witches! I knew it was witches! Kill them! Destroy them! No, bring them back to Archbishop. He'll want to see.
And you hear and you see women, men, children surround you with pitchforks and torches. As out from the middle of them steps a large man in darkened leathers, dark black hair, beautifully chiseled features, piercing green eyes. As he steps forward, now, let's not be too hasty. It's clear when we look at them that they are in league with the witches.
Oh, it's clear, huh?
Look at them. He's rotting as we speak. And this one, a dampier. Don't put up a fight or we'll end your life here. Simply get in these manacles.
No, I mean, no.
Now, do not argue with me.
No, just let me
I am William Van Brunt, and you hear as everyone yells and cheers, William! Oh, he's so handsome! As he steps forward and swings manacles in his arms, his rippling biceps nearly bursting out of his linen shirt, his chest completely open in a V. You can see the curly tendrils of his chest hair poking out in a beautiful mass of deliciousness, sweat gleaming in the torchlight.
What Briggsy is just trying to say is that we're here to see the Archbishop.
Huh, they have names.
Yes.
The witch has named them. You hear as everyone yells,
Yes, the witch has named them!
No, we're here to help. We're here to stop the issue with the witches.
You hear a muttering and a bit of arguing. They're not here to help. Don't listen to their foul pleas for justice.
No, my name is Samarius Renethir. I'm a knight I'm here to help.
As if a witch would employ a knight, let alone a knight of vampire.
I look at I look at Briggsy like, I was thinking of Anders. I look at Briggsy like, did you not just hear what he said? It's a contradiction.
They slowly start to close in around you even tighter.
Of course a witch would not hire a knight.
We are here. The Lord and Lady of this entire land has sent us here to meet with the Archbishop. We can probably kill every single one of you.
No.
I suggest
Did you hear what he said?
No, he didn't mean
Kill every single one of us.
Oh, you meant it.
Why, Briggsy?
No, what he's trying to say is, oh, I'm a scarecrow. I give up.
Get them, and you feel as near 50 people begin to overpower you, children, women, men, pulling at you as they begin to wrestle you towards the ground. Yorgrim, you feel the feel of a large boot on your back as he presses you down into the dirt and grabs your arms and begins to manacle you.
No, don't
and
resist!
And as he moves from each of you, he steps into you harder, pressing you into the earth. There are too many people here for you to fight them off, even with what magic that you have. As the women and children drag you into the dirt, sitting on your bodies, forcing you down. You feel your weapons removed from you. You feel bits and pieces of your armor removed from you.
Did they try and take my stone?
No, they're just pressing down on your stone as they begin to manacle your hands. And as the dust settles, you're all face down in the dirt, all manacled together.
You're gonna regret this!
As you see a wormy man walk up beside William, the man who'd called himself William Van Brunt.
Sir? What do we do with them now?
We're going to take them to Cyril. We're going to take them to Archbishop Renault. And we'll claim the reward and the renown as we watch them burn. And as he says it, everyone screams burn as they yank you to your feet and pull you up behind them as William Van Brunt holds on to the chains and tugs you forward.
This is fine. This is fine. You're making a mistake. As soon as you get us to the Archbishop, we will explain everything. I swear. To all
Speak
this
not
holy
to
we're
me,
here.
foul creature. You will suck the blood from someone other than me and those of Cyril this night.
No, that's not why I'm here. Please.
Ha! Says the damn Pierre! And everyone erupts in laughter.
Well, you know, we didn't put up a fight, so you can be a little bit kinder to us.
Kind to the minions of a witch.
Well, I'm not a minion of a witch anymore.
A scarecrow claims not to be the minion of a witch.
No, I mean, and see that weird crow with the horrible demon eyes. I'm not with him. No, don't land on my head.
He walks towards you, the sounds of the chains rattling as he kicks you square in the gut.
You're gonna regret this.
That's all.
Let me tell you. I mean, are there like hundreds of people, or like how big is this?
It's a gigantic mob of people.
I will shut up and I just won't say a thing, and I'll just be led.
Remember what I said about going with things before
Good
we
luck.
got here.
And I just close my eyes and sort of let them carry me. Do I see my shovel anywhere? Like, did I see who's holding my shovel?
I would say a couple people over, you see a dirty, middle-aged man who's like looking at your shovel, and like every time William mentions witch, he raises it into the air and cries witch. As they all chant, but it doesn't seem to be moving further away from you. They seem to be keeping all of your stuff roughly together with you. No one seems to be stealing your things as much of making sure that you don't have it.
No, don't take my bag, please.
And it was no one seemed to go anywhere near your bags. And it felt like when you were dragged to the ground, it was mostly the children that were taking your stuff.
I'd shout out to the guy holding my shovel and just say,
You be careful with that.
You shut up, witch.
I'll be taking it back.
Witch, shut your mouth, witch.
A witch.
Joker, please.
Look at his green skin. He's a dumb witch.
Really?
Stop.
I wouldn't try and like explode out of the chains, but I would definitely like.
He's trying to conjure his magic. Get him! And a bunch of the kids will jump on you and try and drag you to the ground.
I'll swing wild. These kids, you can try and drag me some kids.
Get off of me!
Stop! Fighting will not help us here, please!
The mists pour off me.
You're doing this as William.
I definitely try and
William is going
up.
to rush up behind you. He's going to kick you in the back of your knees as you fall forward onto the ground. Your chains pull as all of your friends slam into the ground with you as he digs his boots into the back of your knees. You will calm yourself.
Yorgrim, it's gonna be okay. We'll just clear it all up with Archbishop Fernando. Like he knows we're coming.
Jericho is exactly right. Please.
What was her name again?
He looks down at you,
put his boot in my
and
head.
as you turn to look towards him, he looks down at you, he spits in your face, and then yanks you back up to your feet and begins to drag you with almost an inhuman strength towards the entrance to Cyril.
One of the kids was like, "Take his tombstone." I activate the ancestors. The mists pour off me. I rip out of the chains.
And as you are pulled forward, all of you are surrounded by these
What's
people,
that?
and you begin to notice these appear to be
cute.
just
Why
normal
is there not
people.
one in the middle?
Their clothes are a little bit more tattered. They look a little more hungry than you would expect for people living in a town such as this. But they don't look emaciated. They don't look on the verge of starvation. It's like they're not getting quite enough. And they look ravenous for blood. As some of them look between you, you see that a few of them are almost insanely incensed with the need for your demise, while whereas others look fearful and afraid. The children verge between invigorated by William von Holt and, why did I call him that? William Van Brunt. I just watched something that had a Von Holt in it. But anyway, William Van Brunt, as if they emulate to be like him, but they're still children and they're still afraid of you. All of them believing you to be witches or minions of witches, or exactly what you are. Zombies, vampires, and animated scarecrows. As they drag you towards the town.
It's gonna get us so out of tune.
And one of the kids is attempting to play the banjo, plucking the strings a little bit too hard.
Like this horrible, like demonic cacophony starts going, and like all the rooms on the banjo start flashing.
The bridge collapses.
They take my cutlass away, and then every 6 seconds, I'm like, no, come back! And I just summon back to my name every 6 seconds. Ah, fuck! Ah.
And that happens as they do not quiet. You would think it takes about 30 minutes to march you into town, and you would expect the zealotousness of this to die down, but it doesn't. They scream for your blood, they call out to witches, and as you make your way through these cobbled streets, you are able to see this city in its fullness, not fullness, in its fullness as you walk up the main path towards the cathedral at the very end of the main thoroughfare. And the stones seem to be in good shape. The houses themselves seem to be well taken care of. The people that mill about the streets, some of them chant along, "Kill the witch, burn them, for Foltis, for Foltis." Walk the one true path, turn away from evil, as some of them simply run into their house and slam the door, closing their windows, afraid of you, in fear of you, as William leads you towards the very center of this city, a city unlike anything you've ever seen. And in the very center of this almost courtyard in front of this gigantic marble cathedral. The very front of it, a large wooden door, and above it, a beautiful stained glass window with the circular full moon disc and crescent moon of Foltis itself shining in the glass and the lead. The light spilling out into the courtyard. You see the beautiful marble statue of Foltis himself atop a fountain that looks to be an area to procure water and to clean yourself. And it is beautiful and it is pristine as they push you forward directly in front of the steps of the cathedral. I'm gonna get some music. So yes,
I fucking hate extroverts.
Seriously. As
fucking kids.
as they push you forward and down onto your hands and knees, William Van Brunt calls out, begging for the Archbishop. "We have witches!" And everybody erupts into loud, boisterous chanting. "Witches, burn the witch, kill the minions of the witches." And they chant and chant and chant until finally the doors of the cathedral spring open. And stepping out from the illumination within, almost as if wreathed in shadow by the light behind them, a figure thin and tall, investments of a very high priest. As he steps out onto the stairs and looks out over the people, his hat far taller than you would expect, reaching towards the moon. The flames on the torches on the inside of the cathedral flickering and illuminating his back as he steps out, and the torches that the townspeople are holding are now able to illuminate his face as what appears to be an older man looks out at all of you, and he raises his hands towards the town people. "Quiet. My sons and daughters, you have not brought me witches or minions of witches. You have brought me friends.
friends to the Lord and Lady of all the land, and illuminated in the light of Foltus himself. Put down your weapons. You will do them no harm. And you
That's
see
what
as
it is.
William begins
That's what
to
it is.
shrink
That's-
back into the
I
crowd
think that's the music
and
from Stormwind.
slowly fold into the
World of
mass of
Warcraft.
people. And you see for a
I'd heard that before.
second, as if the Archbishop
Nice.
notices him for a mere second, but he turns his attention back to the flock of people in front of
Can
him.
I spit on him before he totally goes away?
Can I shatter my fucking chains and punch him in the goddamn face?
As the DM would say, you can certainly try.
You can try.
Try. Yeah.
Way to go, Billy! I told you!
Yeah, I would say you're easily able to do that. I will let you do that. And the Archbishop stops for a moment, and he allows you to say that, as his eyes linger on William Van Brunt for just a second, but he seems to allow him to fade off into the distance.
Just before he leaves, I cast instant diarrhea.
He's wearing
Testicular torsion.
So you don't know if it works.
Men butt
You have
crack.
a feeling it
Tight,
did.
so it creates a pressure and everything goes out all around.
All of a sudden, you hear a squishing in his shoes as he slowly walks away.
You have a sense of accomplishment.
I wish I
But
was
nothing
dead.
more.
Putting your finger
There's
under
a smell of shit that drifts in on the breeze. That's disgusting. His
hate
pants
everyone.
are that tight, to be fair.
I would be on my knees in like not a mockery of a prayer position, but like what someone who does not pray at all would attempting to do, like in the face of an archbishop.
The sound of muttering gets louder for a moment, but with his hands still raised, everyone begins to quiet themselves, and you hear behind you, Foltus be praised. So sorry, Archbishop. So sorry, Archbishop. So sorry, Father. So sorry. As
Better
they
be.
slowly begin to move away and towards the edges of this courtyard, as he calls out, "Return their things, unchain them, lest I have to tell Lord Druskinvold what has befallen his friends." And you see as a couple of the men move forward and begin to unchain you. One of them, as he's unchaining you, Marius, digs the key in just a little too hard, pressing on your flesh. As you hear him say, "You're lucky.
Yes, I
You're
understand.
very lucky.
Yes, and
Don't stay out too late,
I
lest something were to happen."
promise you we're here to help.
And you see he looks at you with obvious disdain.
And I give him a very big toothy smile.
He, you can smell the liquor on his breath as he, like, jolts back a little bit and he slowly unchains you.
I am
And
trying
as
to
he
tell you.
starts to walk back,
Community
he,
game, huh?
"Sorry, Father, sorry." But he doesn't,
Crying out
you don't get a
fish.
sense of, honesty on his voice
okay.
as he's continuing to eye you up. And
I wonder
it's
if
easy
they
to tell that
do
there
they
are quite
do
a
card
few of the
openings.
members of
My
this
husband
mob
has
that
started putting some
even
videos
though
out
the
on card
Archbishop
openings,
is
and he's
calling you friends, they're
getting
not
pretty
quite
big
sure
in the
they agree.
card
as they
opening
eye you with
community. He
suspicion.
knows people like
But slowly
Ellipsis
they begin
and,
to move towards the edges.
There's
Many of them
something about
disperse and head
pack-
towards their homes,
pack
but
pulling.
you notice a lot of them peeking out of windows, looking out of the dark
He knows, like,
corners and the
Ellipsis
alleyways
and
as they
Pokemon
watch
Famrips
what is to transpire here.
stuff like that. He's been talking to him and winning
My
packs.
apologies. Cyril has been afflicted with the wrath of ungodly women, witches, as I'm
Okay.
sure you know.
Okay, so it's
I am
ungodly
thankful
women.
you've come. And I promise to keep you safe in this land. For nothing shall befall you when you are under my watchful eye. And he slowly begins to descend the stairs, walking towards you, as he helps you to stand up. He
What?
is significantly tall, maybe 6'4", 6'5", as he towers over some of you, or meets the eyes of some of you.
Stop stinking out everybody
It is
else. That silly giggler.
He turns and looks towards you but says no more.
You're right, Archbishop. It is very late.
The name's Briggsy. Do you know where the witch is? I'd like to get this off. Give me my fucking gun.
And we have donuts in the morning, kiddos.
You see-
We've got them sitting on
see-
the counter.
He turns up his nose a little bit at your foul language, but quickly wipes the look off of his face as he smiles down at you. As you're handed all of your things.
So the witch.
Polish the skull off.
We were sent here, as you know, to kill the witch. So if you know where she is, we can go do that, and then we can be out of here.
You are being hasty.
What?
It is
Of
not
course they're
safe
being hasty.
to hunt the
Your
witch this
group almost killed them as witches.
But yes,
I would be
I
hasty
can give
too.
you the instructions you need to kill the witch. But, and he looks at all of you, you must rest. And I have a meeting with the matron of the orphanage, Miss Macduff. But I cannot be late for it. But I can put you up with lodging and make sure you are safe.
We are greatly and deeply appreciative of your generosity, Archbishop. Thank you.
He reaches out and he grabs your hand. And I am greatly appreciative of your assistance.
Oh,
Sir
absolutely.
Meredith.
Yes, of course. That's why we're here. Yes, thank you.
Archbishop, do the citizens of Cyril roam the lands in search of witches every night? Is this a common occurrence?
Their kin has fallen to madness. Their children succumb to sickness.
I see you.
Their crops
Stop
yield
doing that
no
orange
fruit.
cat behavior.
They have become desperate. Please do not judge those that suffer the most.
We have an orange cat.
We understand.
And a cat that's a
And
calico.
Archbishop, if I may call you Archbishop,
I'd
my name
call
is
her
Old Jericho
pastel
Stick. You can call me
calico.
Jericho. Most folk do.
And
It is
they're
an honor and a privilege to stand in your presence. And we are just here
One would
to kill,
even
to
say,
assist you with your witch problem.
What we're trying to say is that we understand that fear makes people do unusual things, and it's all right. We're here to help. That's all.
A faint smile passes his lips as he looks between all of you. Unlikely heroes, but if you promise to walk the one true path and abide by the rules in Cyril, I see no reason we cannot be friends. We cannot help each other to rid this land of that which plagues it.
I am eager to learn more about this path and about the ways of Cyril and its holy god.
I wish that I were more in my youth, but I tire. I've spent my day tending to the people of Foltis. And after my meeting with the Lady Macduff, I must sleep. But tomorrow we will speak. I will tell you what I know. And I pray that you will bring these witches to an end.
That's the plan.
That is
Oh my gosh, orange
Did you
cat,
say
no.
Macduff? Like
No orange
perhaps
cat.
the matron of the orphanage?
Yes, Matron Maggie Macduff.
Go rub up against someone
It
else.
seems more of the children have been overcome with sickness. I go to see what Foltis may do.
Perhaps you may want to go in the morning and perhaps bring your old new friends.
I will meet with her in the morning, but I must see to the children tonight.
Okay, well, there's reason to believe that we should probably talk in the morning about Matron Macduff.
Why?
Well, there was a situation with children being sent off to a place where they were
He
not.
raises his hand. I believe I know what you speak, for I know where you have dwelled. Yes, you may accompany me to my meeting in the morning with Matron Maggie Miller. I will have the Knights Templar get you from the inn.
All right, understood.
And they're gonna protect us from those fucking crazy people out there.
Yes, please.
I will have them stationed at the inn all evening long. They will escort you to sleep, if you will allow it.
Yeah, all right.
Well,
Yes,
it is.
please.
Yes, of course. You're very, very hospitable and kind, Archbishop.
He looks at all of you. I'm weary and I am tired. I cannot promise I will be more talkative in the morning, but I will have more energy. For now, this has weakened me. Go to sleep. Rest. We will speak tomorrow. And may Foltis guide your path.
May the light of Foltis guide yours.
He nods to each of you individually.
Oh, the light of Fotis and the true path and blinding light.
He doesn't seem put off by what you're saying, but you once again see that faint smile on his face as he looks to all of you. And again, my apologies.
Accept it.
Don't worry about it.
And I like clap Briggsy on the back.
I just growl.
Hand gets stuck.
Oh, my chunk, I'm sorry.
You watch as he raises one hand and then the other, and you see marching from either side of the cathedral are lines of 3 on either side, 6 total armored guards, the Knights Templar he referred to, as they begin to flank you. And though none of them
Show
speak
you
to
any
you,
game so.
they begin
No.
to surround you and
Any
then
game. What?
start to usher you along a pathway and deeper into the city.
So they're taking us to an inn.
They are leading you deeper into the city, and as you watch as the Archbishop stands on the steps of the cathedral, and he does look weary. He does look tired. At this point, it is near the witching hour, and you imagine if he hadn't been summoned so quickly, he probably had been preparing for sleep. As he whatever is taking up his time, whatever has happened at the orphanage, as well as your entrance into the city, has riled him from his sleep, and that he probably won't talk so slow the next time you talk to him. But that he was weary, and maybe even putting on airs for the mob that had rallied in the courtyard. But he watches you as you are ushered slowly away, and he nods to each of you and smiles. As once you begin to make your way out of the courtyard, you watch as he walks with purposeful steps down a separate road, flanked by 6 more of these Knights Templar, as they lead him through the city, or follow him through the city. As these knights begin to walk you through the winding streets, until you come to a very large stone, almost like a cobble and mortar stone building, with a well-tended wooden roof. All of the windows seem to be those crossed iron windows where the glass is leaded glass windows is what I'm looking for. They all seem to be leaded glass windows, and a warm orange light spills forth from it. Some of the windows in the topmost area seem to be out, but some you can see candlelight flicker. The rooms above the tavern, and the door itself is open, and there is the sound of merriment and joy spilling from within. You see a sign that seems to have that symbol of Foltis and the words Pathwalker's Rest. This appears to be the inn of this place. As the Knights Templar flank the building and all stand at attention and motion for you to make your way inside. And just as quickly as you do, the room goes silent. People sitting at every table and at the bar all turn their heads to look towards you, as the majority of them quickly throw coins onto their tables, grab their hats and their bags, and immediately rush past you and leave. None of them saying a word. The bartender and potentially innkeeper standing behind the bar,
I gotta
an
fix a
older
town that's
gentleman,
ungrateful.
middle to older age, slightly shorter than you've seen, as his long white whiskers kind of twitch in apprehension as he looks at all of you and watches as the majority of the people in the inn in the tavern make their way out as he slowly cleans out a glass, but he doesn't make any motion to prevent you or stop you from entering. And there are, I would say, about 6, maybe 7 people who remain. But all of them watch you with suspicious eyes as they slowly begin whispering under their breath.
It was just our presence. The Knights Templars are outside.
The Knights
right?
Templar are outside.
Okay.
I would walk to the bar and say, I apologize if our presence has disrupted your business. I would like a flagon of ale.
He looks down at you, and you see a sense of suspicion on his face, but then a sense of resolve. It's
You what?
if the Archbishop
What?
says you're all right, then you're all right by me. And he reaches out his hand and he goes to shake yours.
Only several,
Samuel Good, I
huh?
run this place.
My name is Samarius Renathian, and I
You can
promise
do
you
it.
we're here to help.
Gonna rid us of them witches, huh?
Absolutely.
I sure hope that's true. Well, it looks like your room, board, food, and everything else is on the church, so...
What? No.
And he passes you a flagon of mead.
No, how
Enjoy
much
your
for this?
stay.
Please, how much for this?
Yeah. I wouldn't deny the kindness of the Archbishop, and neither should you.
I would look around the bar. Is there any kind of like a tip jar or anything?
I would say there's a small barrel where you see a handful of coins, but not many. It doesn't look like many people tip. Maybe they don't have the means to, or maybe it's been already cleared out for the night, but there's not much in there.
I would very gratefully accept my flagon and discreetly walk past his barrel and drop 10 gold pieces.
It's his platoon. It just goes blah, blah, blah.
Heavy tipper.
That's gross, Derek. Go home. We don't like you.
He's definitely owned this place for a long time, and your kindness does not go unnoticed by him as you see a slight smile grace his face.
I find a seat.
Thank you.
And I just give him a nod as I go enjoy my flagon.
Hello there, sir. You met my friend Sumarius. My name is old Jericho Sticks. You can call me Jericho, most folk do. I know you don't have many patrons, but if you need a pro bono musical performance, I am a bit of a tunesmith, and I play this here banjo, and I do a little bit of singing, a little bit of warbling. Not great, but it's enough.
If it would make you happy to play, then I say play. There ain't many in here to hear it, but I'd enjoy it.
Well, I'll talk to my friends who. I think I'm feeling tired. Feeling tired is a little new to me. Sleepy is a little new, so maybe we'll go to bed, or I'll play. Maybe do those fine gentlemen look like they're looking for a tune? I'll look over. Do they seem like they're looking for a tune?
They very clearly seem like they're not looking for a tune.
Oh.
You see
They're not
as
for a tune.
what had been 2 sets of 3 people getting together, that were together and mumbling under their breath, 3 of them have slowly moved over to the larger table, and they've all congregated over there in the farthest corner of the tavern away from you, as they're looking at you and mumbling. They are, it's very clear that some of them are inebriated. As Samuel Good looks out around all of you, and he slowly tosses out a key. Well, that's for your room. You can find it upstairs. The number's there on the key. There's some rules. There's no whoring. Don't have prostitutes in Cyril, so if that's your thing, it's not here. You understand?
Oh no, we would never dream of that. Of course.
There's a 2-drink maximum. There's no drunkenness in Cyril, and you see as his eyes linger on the table in the corner.
I can't get
There
drunk.
shouldn't be, at the very least. It is a crime, it is a sin, and those that do it, and his voice raises, will be punished if they're caught.
Understood.
We all walk the one true path. Stay good, stay kind, commit no sins, and you'll fit in right here with me.
You won't have no trouble from us.
Guess this will be enough for me then.
I'll have some food sent over. The kitchen's closed, but I'm sure we can scrounge up something. You like beans?
Not picky.
Ooh, no, I very much care for beans.
Did you say room?
Yeah, room.
Oh, don't you have any, like maybe 2 rooms perhaps with the lady tags?
Not tonight. We're quite full up. We weren't expecting a party of your size, but it's the largest room we've got.
We'll make do. It's all right.
Okay.
Should be enough beds for the lot of you.
You can just put me in a broom closet.
I'm fine on the floor. I'll be all right.
Rum, please.
He quickly makes you a drink and passes it to you.
Oh, yeah, wow.
I wasn't expecting
All
that.
Did I get a goblet of wine?
Yes, you did.
Okay.
Whatever it is that you want to drink, you're able to get. And you see as he disappears into a side room and comes out soon after, with what appears to be a watered down meat and bean stew.
Ooh. Have some wine and a kamikaze shot.
And you're able to. He keeps to himself. Samuel Good does for the most part, as he stays behind the bar, and you see that he does stop giving drinks to the men in the corner after 2 drinks. And as they walk by you, they make snide comments, and you hear them muttering the word "witches" and "witch's servant" to you, but none of them actually engage with you. Occasionally you hear something and see something hit the table as they toss bits of food towards you and then pretend like they hadn't thrown it. And occasionally you see as they pull out from under the table what appears to be a skein of drink. They have pilfered alcohol from somewhere else and are continuing to drink past their 2 drinks. But Samuel Good, who does seem to notice it, doesn't seem to get involved. It's none of his business and he keeps to himself.
Oh boy.
Could I, because I have a familiar, I suppose I could use this mechanically, instead of just berating me. I say, now Virgil, I know that I haven't asked a lot from you in the past several days. Why don't you stay outside and can you just keep your weird, gross eyes out for other weird, gross animals? And just keep an eye out for anything that might be centipede-like or anything on this here dagger? And I'll show him the dagger and open a window and Virgil will fly out.
And he can talk to you while he's outside.
No. So he within 100 feet. Within 100 feet.
Right. So if he's like outside,
So he's
on the roof,
roosting on the building, and I'm 100 feet away. Yeah.
Yeah. I would say he gives you a rough playback of what he sees. The Knights Templar seem to be scouting the entire place. They occasionally change positions and walk the streets. They send people inside. You see, they occasionally find a they occasionally find a drunk and warn them quickly to get inside, lest they pay the price of their sin. But they watch, and you had mentioned the things on the dagger.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And he mentioned, I will say, Virgil tells you that there appears to be, well, Virgil might know this because he's a bird. Yeah, I'll say he does. A pigeon ship that coats the turrets and the boards of the roof of the inn. And he begins to notice that there's quite a bit of it on the other roofs, as if, though you don't see them here now, that pigeons do roost here.
Which may or may not be unusual.
Yeah, I mean it's a city. You know that
Right.
pigeons
Totally normal.
are city vermin,
Well,
I mean,
and that's about all that he has to tell you.
well, there's no gross animals, but there's pigeons. There's pigeons. There's pigeon shit. I
It's not
presume.
great news given what's happened in the last 24 hours.
I mean, those are gross animals. I mean, you're talking about gross animals all the time, and then you see evidence of pigeon here, like, oh, don't worry, there are no gross animals.
You're not as gross as all that.
I'm kind of with Briggsy on this one. I think he's right.
Pigeons
That
get a bad
qualifies as a
rap.
gross animal.
They're better than weasels with faces.
Only slightly.
Well, I guess we knew what we were getting into.
At some point in the evening, I would get tired of having food thrown at us, and I would go and I would start talking to the gentleman. We don't have to argue this, but I would cast lesser restoration on them in order to destroy their drunkenness, take away what they've spent all evening working up, and because of the one true path being what it is, and how important the guiding light of focus is.
Nice and loud.
You'd think they'd notice.
They sober up immediately, and you can feel the anger coming off of them as they mutter curses under their breath. And one of them makes a motion towards you, but the other ones grab him and hold him still. And one of them looks directly at you. You'll get what's coming to you. Don't you worry, little lady.
They're within earshot?
And he spits at your feet. Let's head to bed, gentlemen. And they all get up, and you hear the sliding and grinding of the chairs as they all exit the inn. And as they do, they watch you. And they look at you. And you can feel that the anger that they had felt and the suspicion that they felt has been amplified with your casting of Lesser Restoration on them.
Thank you. And I know that I would have to use more than one per person, so
Yeah.
let me know if I need to spend more than
6.
Okay, I spend all of my spell slots this time.
That's what we're gonna miss.
I'll light my cup of rum on fire and I'll say, more for us. And I'll down it.
I'd be lying if I said I didn't want a few more of these.
Jorgen, were you asking a question?
Just if they were within earshot.
Yes, they were within earshot.
Yeah.
You could hear them. They were
Well,
choosing to
they-
mutter
they-
under their breath,
okay.
but once Lethica Lesser Restoration them, they made it very loud that she would pay the price.
Well, probably, like, if they're looking at us while they're leaving, I would, like, if they're throwing food at us, I would look for, like, a chicken bone if it's on there, some sort of bone.
Sure.
I would, like, take it off, stare them dead in their eyes, and then just eat the bone. Just consume it.
Eat the bone.
They
Stare right at them. Yeah.
you see two of them. You see two of them jump back, and then they begin whispering to each other and nodding. And
We're in a tavern.
We're in a tavern.
yeah, you're in a tavern, so this works. Arguing as they speak to each other under their breath, and as they all leave, they turn back and look at you one more time, and you see almost a look of devilish glee on one of their faces as they exit and dart into the shadows.
Evening, gentlemen. Have a nice sleep. As humans are wont to do.
I hate to suggest it so early, but maybe we should follow suit and just head to bed ourselves. I could sit here all night, but we need our rest, and we have a lot ahead of us tomorrow.
If this were the prime material plane, it would be like 3 in the morning. I'm ready for bed.
I'm eager to get to tomorrow, kill this witch, and get the hell out of here.
Well, I'm gonna have my second drink.
You've
Man,
already had your second drink.
Oh, fuck.
Samuel, I would have a shot of rum, please.
And he hands you a shot of rum.
I think I will be going to bed, and I leave my rum on the table.
Oh, thank you.
Samuel turns a blind eye.
Oh, okay.
That's so sweet.
I'll just see it kind of like dribble out of my
Get some
ribcage.
rest. I hope you have a good night. You let me know if... And he looks towards the door. I'm sure they've got it covered, but you let me know if you need anything.
Likewise, if there's anything that you need from us, please let us know.
And thank you again. You can get rid of these witches and bring our lovely town back to what it was before the suspicion and the anger took hold in the hearts of these men. I'd thank you kindly.
Of course, Mr. Samuel, and thank you for the hospitality. We appreciate you perhaps sacrificing a bit of your business.
And they'll come back. There's nowhere else to go.
Well, I was going to play him. I feel like I just came up with a jaunty tune they might enjoy, but maybe tomorrow evening.
All right, let's get some sleep.
Sweet dreams.
Okay.
That's just the sound of the playlist.
Oh my god, it's a Hellboy too!
And with that, you make your way up to the one large room, and there are enough beds and places for you to sleep. And though it is a large room, it's almost like a suite. There are adjoining rooms, and there is a spot for the ladies to have their own privacy, and a spot for the men to find rest.
Is there?
If you would like to split up in such a fashion. And is there anything you'd like to do before you go to bed?
I'll just kind of prop up. I'll stand right in here if there's enough space.
Oh, look, there's a cloak closet. A cloak closet? I mean a coat closet.
Oh,
If you would like
A cloak closet.
I suppose
Cloak
that would
closet.
be a little more comfortable. I can stretch out in here. There we go. Okay. I guess, I normally have a stasis, but I guess I'll sleep again.
You all feel that sense of tiredness overcoming you. You now understand a little bit why the DM made the choice to have the Archbishop talk so slowly, because it's very late and people are very tired, including the DM.
Well, this is a mighty fine coat closet, and I think I'll enjoy a nice sleep. What a fun thing.
Are there enough beds for us?
Yes.
Oh,
When you say private,
easy peasy.
You would not be private from Farron, but you'd be private from the gentleman.
Good night, Farron.
Get some brunch.
I'm going to pray now, but I am going to keep my back to you. Please do not be offended. I'll get down on 2 knees, and since it's been more than a full day, normally I would have the ritual of praying each day, but didn't feel comfortable doing that on the outside dirt of the crooked house. I would finally remove my mask, making sure that no one can see, and then go through my ritual, speak my prayer words, and for the sake of brevity, I'll say that that's all I do.
Yes, so you do that.
And then I get to sleep after returning the mask.
Would anybody else like to do anything before bed?
I would just take off my armor and set everything by my bed and settle in.
If it's anything unusual than what you
I would go and communicate with Virgil and just basically have him keep an eye out for ghost pigeons, and if there's any weird pigeon, especially weird looking pigeon, to basically come wake us up. Yep.
Right.
I would just find the biggest bed that I can, and I would try to pass out immediately. My first time in a real bed in at least a few nights.
It is easy for all of you to fall asleep as the days travel, the horrors that you witnessed, and the what felt like near-death experience as you were come upon by a mob of fanatics. It has exhausted you as you close your eyes and you are able to find sleep. But it is not a restful sleep as you all begin to dream. The music will start. Marius, you find yourself walking through the basement of an old abandoned mill. The ground beneath your feet, clearly desecrated ground, surrounded by coffin after coffin after coffin. You take your shield and you smash into it. And you see that what lies beyond is vampire spawn after vampire spawn, as wrath begins to billow up inside of you. As you slice head from body, rending 1, 2, 3, 4, upturning coffin after coffin after coffin. You get towards the edge of the room, you open another one, and out rises the form of a child vampire spawn. And in pure wrath, you slice the head from its body as you begin to find smaller and smaller coffins, all of them vampire spawn. As you sever their heads, as you slice into them, no care whatsoever for the age of these vampires, consumed with wrath. And as you see, there's a battle that rages around you as this entire thing begins to go up in flames. But you are so consumed in rage, you don't care as you slice through this one and that one. Child, adult, woman, it does not matter. As all of a sudden, the entire thing goes up in flames and you with it. As your skin begins to melt from your bones, you are unaffected as you are consumed with rage. You fall to your knees as the metal of your armor begins to cause the skin of your flesh to melt away even quicker. As you scream with rage and continue to rend head from body. Briggsy, you see yourself in the ruins of a temple, surrounded by idols and relics of a culture that you are unfamiliar with. And you are filled with greed as you begin to stuff your pack full of gems and jewels and diamonds. You are ready to completely clean this place out. These things can be sold for so much money. You are a rich man. The ship you could buy with all of this. And as you're ready to leave, You see it. The glint of gold catches your eye, of gold in the sun. As you look up, a towering, gigantic crocodilian statue, and in its eyes, 2 giant gemstones. Your greed is overpowering as you begin to scale this thing, as you climb upwards. And with your dagger, you pry forth one of the gems and put it in your pocket. You feel the statue waver under you as you place the gem into your bag. You are overburdened, but you don't care. That other gemstone will be yours. As you move towards it and you begin to pry it, the statue jolts a little bit, but you're able to get leverage as you yank the gemstone out. And as you hold it in your hands, the statue begins to fall, and you with it. And as you hit the ground, the statue falls atop you, smashing you into paste. Your greed, your end. Baron, the glow of blue runes on the standing stones illuminate the forest around you. As a massive bear is consumed in Heartsblight, a circle of druids dance around it, performing the ritual that you are so familiar with. But in this ritual, there are 2 empty spaces. For though you can see the dancing lights far off in the distance, you're not there performing the ritual. You're in the throes of passion, overcome with lust. 2 feminine fawn bodies tumble in the rotting, in the slowly decaying leaves on the fallen floor of this dark forest. As you wrap yourselves around each other, no thought for the ritual that's happening far off, as you laugh and moan in pleasure and in glee. And as you open your eyes, as your arms wrap around the one you love, you feel her flesh give way, as her skin decays in your hands, the empty eye sockets of her head lifeless, the flesh rotting, your fingers sinking into the putrid form as you hold your dead lover. Jericho.
Tomorrow,
The sound of music, dance, and love.
I might be doing an earlier stream tomorrow. But if I do, it's going to be really early, like before 12. So, I mean, if you want to catch it later, you can. But if I don't, then regardless, I'll be on again at around 9. And we're gonna try and have Ark up so I can feed my animals. I just hope they're not dead. I'm gonna have to start all over again. But yeah, sometime around 9 p.m. Maybe a little after 9.
As you peek in to a happy barn filled with laughter and life, you watch from the outskirts, envious of the love and friendship that you see within, as halflings dance around what looks like it could be a maypole, as they sing and celebrate the love of 2 beautiful halflings as they share in the share in the joy of what is clearly a wedding. Family and friends all in attendance, and you watch, longing, hoping for that kind of friendship, that sort of family. As all of a sudden darkness descends, and as you look up, you see crows. Swarms and swarms of crows as they descend into the barn and into the windows as they begin to pick apart the flesh of these halflings, picking out their eyeballs, ripping into their intestines.
In the morning, I suspect we'll only be on for maybe an hour or 2 if we do that. At night, though, I'll probably do my whole 9 to 11 spiel that I usually do. Keeping my schedule. Yeah, I hope you have a good time at church, though.
The laughter and song
way, I'll
now
publish
replaced
it.
with the sounds of agonized screaming as the friends and family of this married couple are ripped apart in front of you. Nothing more than a mass of bloody mess as the flock descends upon you. You're covered and consumed, and though you can't feel the same pain,
Wait, so what's so bad about wearing the rosary? Isn't it just like a... I've never had a rosary before. Isn't it just like a necklace or something? Something go around your arm? I only know what I've seen in movies. Oh God. Okay, yeah, that sounds rough. Well, hopefully it won't take too long then.
darkness, and almost as if you're watching from far above,
Probably
where
finish
once
out this
had been
video and then go to
Jericho,
bed myself. It's
is
late.
nothing but a lone, rusty bolt. Lethica, a full moon looms over a huge city on a hill. A village that clearly had once been the home to a worshipping group to Saluna. But now, cloaked figures roam the streets. Symbols of the disk of night dot everything. At the top of the city, a cavernous cathedral to Shar now stands. And in the dark depths of it, seated upon a throne, you sit. And as you look out over your flock, as these dark figures bow down in prayer, you swell
Searching for
with
what?
pride. And then you realize their faces, which should be masked, are
that's not too
purely
personal,
blank. No faces reside on these beings, just a fleshy blankness as they bow and bend. But they don't serve you. They serve Shar. And you are but an imposter in this land. And as you look on in pride, you feel fear as they descend on you and begin to rip you limb from limb, an unholy idol. Yorgrim, you walk through a valley of darkness, the weight of the clan stone on your back as it gets heavier and heavier, and you get more and more tired. You hear the voices of your friends and family, everyone you knew, as they begin to blame you for their deaths, chanting at you, telling you you will never finish this task. You carry the weight of your friends and family because you did this.
Watch the streams. I mean, I'll watch your stream if you decide to start it. And there are some streams I will get on, especially if my husband notice there's some, I like the ones that were the couples that play together. Because I will play games with my husband. I can relate. I do need to watch more streams though. But I'm streaming so much, it's like... Yeah, that's my daughter. She's laughing. They're pretty loud. We're a loud memory-making house. Especially since they're excited for the sleepover. Oh god, I need to finish this.
You are the one to blame. You did not act. And you feel sloth.
Yeah, I probably
feel
will,
tired.
especially if it's a horror
You feel
game.
exhausted. Your knees buckle as you fall to the ground.
I freak out easily. That's why I don't play
as the
zombie
weight of
games.
1,000 ghosts begin to weigh down on
Panic
you.
really
You begin
easily.
to claw
And then I start to
at your
fumble
own
things.
grave, pulling apart the earth. You need rest. That's all you want. Let their deaths be in vain, for you shall sleep. Without your shovel, you dig your
Oh, a
own
spy
grave,
game.
and with a yawn, you bury yourself deep within the earth. As you look
Yeah, not
up
much of a
towards the
spy
moonless
either.
night, you're slowly covered by the ghosts of your friends, their hands spilling the earth over you as your eyes flutter and you feel exhaustion overtake you. As the sounds of their chanting, "You did this. You are at fault," slowly fades and you find sleep. You are jolted awake as the sound of a door slams. You can hear shouts and cries and drunken yells as all of a sudden you feel in the darkness, you reach out as you feel hands on your wrists. Lethica, you hear a voice. "I told you you'd pay." Witch, as you feel something wet on your face as someone spits against your cheek and you're wrenched out of bed. All of you feel this as in the darkness you're
let's be
pulled
honest, it could
from
have
your
been worse
beds
than
and
spit.
dragged down the stairs. Those 6 ruffians are not 6 any longer. They're 10 as they drag you out into the main floor of the inn. You begin to hear noise outside as if the town itself is kind of waking as you take punch after punch after punch as these men in your tiredness begin to beat the ever-living shit out of you. You feel blood pooling down the side of your face as one of them rises over you, and you see the face of William Van Brunt as he calls out to drag you outside, and they begin to drag you. You feel weak, almost drugged, as if you drank something you shouldn't have. Your limbs don't have the same kind of movement you would expect from them. You try to call on magics that are familiar to you, but you are unable to utter the words as your speech is slightly garbled and as you stutter out the incantations, as you're dragged out, and where there should be the 6 Knights Templar, there is not.
Oh, boy.
It is nothing but darkness, as once again they begin to pummel into you. I need you all to roll a perception check for me, please.
Oof.
Oh, a natural 20 there. Virgil, you son of a bitch.
Nice. Well done.
Oh, I guess I told him only
Is
growth
that
vision.
perception?
Yes.
Oh, I did okay.
That'll be a 26 for Jericho.
Not bad.
All Jericho
7.
sticks.
18.
20.
Perception. 18.
It's going to be more than 20 for me.
Anyone who rolled below 15 or below, you would not hear this. I would say those of you that rolled above, you hear a loud crunching from far off in the distance, almost a strange slamming and breaking of stone. Something large is coming. And as you look off into the shadows of the streets that flock the area outside of the inn, you see a flash of the colors of the Knights Templar as one of them runs off, clearly paid to stop their watch for a small amount of time. As you see that, let me make sure. You see that William Van Brunt seems to hear this noise as well, as he shrinks towards the back and lets you continue to be pummeled by these 10 men as they're beating into you. Yorgrim, yet again, you feel some of your teeth fly from your mouth as you try to move against them, but your limbs are sleepy, they're tired, the vision of your dream still floating at the edges of your subconscious as you try to move against them but can't. You feel like you're on the edge of unconsciousness as they pummel into you, blood spilling out of your mouth as they call out, "Witches, tools of the witch, you will die here. We will rid this town of you." As all of a sudden you all hear it, the loud crunch overhead and a guttural, almost like roar, and the sound of scraping. This, whatever this is huge, and it is right above you. All of these men for a second look up and you see a look of terror on their face.
Good.
As the one that was in front of you, Lethica, The one that you remember, you can barely see through the slits of your swollen, beaten face. You can see him, the one that spit in your face, the one that told you that you would pay. As all of a sudden, your eyes are completely covered in blood. As you are all spattered with blood, as down from the ceiling of the tavern, this gigantic, part gargoyle, part human man, far too large to exist, jumps squarely on top of this man and completely smashes him to paste as he turns and looks towards all of the men that are brutally beating you in the streets of Cyril, and he calls out, "Drunkards!
Oh.
Sin!" As he smashes at one of them and grabs them with his gigantic hand. You hear them all yell, but their
So it's called
voices are
Expect Me to
clearly
Die, okay.
overcome with the sound of drink. "Pay for sins!" As he opens what appears to be 4 giant cages strapped to his back, as he wrenches them open and throws them in, and he closes them and locks them with his large, dexterous hands, and he sniffs and smells the street. "Sinners, pay!" And that is where we'll end the session.
Holy fuck.
Holy shit.
Okay. Yeah, sure.
The fuck?
Before we do anything else, though, Kimma's resubscribed.
Oh,
for
thank you,
12
Kimma.
months.
Thank you, Kimma.
Whole year.
Big old year.
Kimma.
Thank you.
Okay.
Amazing.
I'll see you later, alright?
Okay.
You have a good night.
Chill.
And have a good day
We're gonna discuss
tomorrow
this
too
whole
whenever you go to
section.
church.
But a couple other things. Join our
Don't
Discord
have
if you're
them,
new.
Yes.
Don't let
We
'em
just
run
launched
you
our
too
Patreon, and it's the best way to support us. So if you want a whole bunch of extra perks, then you want the fancy little like diamond gem next to your name in Twitch chat.
Boy, do I.
Join our Patreon. It's a lot of fun. And we will be back next Thursday, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, next Thursday. We'll be back next Thursday. So we're gonna cut over, not in the stream. We're not gonna go anywhere, but I'm gonna unrecord and then start recording again.
Yeah.
So
We're
stick
not gonna
around.
go anywhere.
Thanks for sticking around, having full
for
laughs.
sticking
Thank
We're
you.
not-
I'm
we're not
glad
done
you
yet.
finished assignments.
2 assignments. Let's
If
go.
you're not gonna stick around, good night, everybody. Cutting
Good
over
night.
now.
It's that. I apologize. My name is Old Jericho Sticks, but you can call me Jericho, little one. Most folk do.
I have to restart that one already now. Alright. Have a good night. Everybody.